Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Herbo sanitary dab rig dab of the day with the wand. Hello, everybody. Today is Sunday. Welcome. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, please hit that subscribe button. Join the Senior Stoner family. Send likes my way. I love them, and I respond to all comments. Today's topic is a very important topic. Let's face it. Life is complicated. Work is complicated. Just putting your feet on the ground in the morning out of bed is complicated. So how do we improve our multitasking capabilities? It's critical. Many of us multitask without even knowing it. Could be chatting on the phone while cooking dinner, folding laundry while on a Zoom call, or listening to music while writing, or walking your dog while doing the internet. But what do you do if you want to develop your skills, your multitasking skills, so you can become really productive? Well, we need to discuss this because it's an important thing for all of us to learn to master. Well, great place to start, I think, is to think about your small and your large goals, and maybe even create some type of schedule so that you can complete your objectives on a timely basis. You want to use online tools. Let's face it, they're available to everybody now. A lot of people need extra assistance to manage this type of thing. So organizational apps, they'll help you organize the workload. But you might even be able to access your plan online anywhere you go. Think of Microsoft, Microsoft Projects. You can share it. So it's useful if you're on the go and if you want to access from multiple devices to get some type of software or program that's going to help you structure your different tasks. There are many of them to use. It's all individual what type of thing you prefer, because you've got to prioritize your tasks. Before you get going on multitasking, you got to take the time to prioritize the tasks and plan accordingly. Maybe there's an urgent pending task that requires your immediate attention, or a colleague is waiting for you to complete a report before they can proceed with their own errands. Either way, knowing where to start and where to direct your attention is crucial when multitasking. And knowing how to prioritize effectively and where to place your energy first is a really great way to improve your multitasking abilities. Remember to filter out the unnecessary tasks. Before you begin, you want to list their tasks and remove them if they're unnecessary. Think about what you can delegate to somebody else, even if it's a friend or a relative, and then look at what is better left for even another day, something that you don't have to do right away. And maybe you even wrote some things down twice. So, by maintaining a concise and manageable list, you're going to save yourself from feeling overwhelmed and have the chance to focus solely on important and urgent duties. Remember to combine related assignments, because when you switch between tasks often, you might notice a drop in productivity, energy, and focus. That's due to the fact that switching through tasks frequently can be very taxing on the brain. Maybe instead, we try grouping related tasks and working on them simultaneously. That might prevent you from slowing down your progress and make your multitasking more effective. You see, that's even another reason why planning ahead for multitasking is essential. Look at your goals first and organize your schedule by combining any related tasks that might even be redundant. And remember to create a workspace. Just think about my studio here, what I've done. I've created a workspace, an environment for myself, because frankly, I've improved. I've improved the way I do these things, and I've improved the way I feel about it. Try to avoid clutter and disorder, and try modifying your space to your needs as you go. Remember, productivity and multitasking. So having a designated space for doing things will not just limit your distractions, but remove interruptions that could disrupt whatever project you're on. And then you have to find a way to manage these distractions. They're constant in life. While you may do your best to remove distractions, some may be unavoidable. So, how do we do it? We got to clean our workspace, remove the stimulants that attract us to disorganize ourselves. Think of it. Sometimes it can be out of your control. But you know what? If you manage your surroundings, even invest in a set of noise-canceling headphones when you're studying or doing something, or an app blocker that would stop you from being on social media during designated points of the day when you want to get other things done. Mrs. Stoner gives me great examples of how she's got to go in early sometimes because when people are in the office, she can't get her work done because somebody's always asking her a question, always interrupting whatever she's doing. You see, just like Senior Stoner is for me, people need to find enjoyment in what they do. It is no secret that productivity absolutely soars when we enjoy what we're doing. Research was done many times to show this. Anything you can do to make your tasks more enjoyable is worth doing. I don't care if you clean the house with no clothes on if you want to do it. My point is, whatever task you've got to do, find a way to make the work itself more fun. And reward yourself when you finish a task, because that's a great way to create a more positive experience for yourself, because you're juggling different things. You're the plate spinner. Think about it. And you've got to remember to put quality over quantity. Always. When you're a multitasker and you're doing it, you know what it does? It affects your brain's efficiency, leading to more mistakes and less retained information. So it's important that multitasking can negatively affect the quality of your work if not done with caution. You can't just... You gotta do it step by step by step. You gotta do one thing and one thing well, and you gotta move on. You gotta ensure the tasks you choose to multitask are completed with attention, so the quality doesn't suffer for the quantity of the work you get done. You must remember that. You've got to dedicate more time to multitasking 2 or 3 things to avoid rushing through them. If you've got 5 things, you got to allow for more time. If you've got 10 things into the ultimate plate spinner, you've got to find more time. You've got to plan extra time for each task. And you've got to remember the rule: delays happen. And sometimes they're completely out of our control. You see, whether a task takes longer than expected or not, you're still waiting on something. You might even be waiting on something from another colleague. Then what happens? Your productivity level drops. So you got to allocate extra time for your tasks. It's critical. You're going to measure your productivity up against your own goals. You got to set the goals that are attainable. It's pretty simple. My goal is not to stuff the basketball from a standing position, because I know it ain't never going to happen. But you need to prepare for the unexpected, always. Contingency planning is critical with multitasking. They go hand in hand. You're going to avoid last-minute sprints to complete something, which often results in horrible work quality. And if everything goes to plan, because you've allowed yourself the proper amount of time, guess what? You'll have extra time to review your work and reward yourself. You've got to remember to take frequent breaks when multitasking. It doesn't mean you got to be busy all the time. It means that you've used your time effectively, and maybe you even recalibrate and learn to rest in the middle of working. Because without rest, you can find yourself really producing work at a lower standard. Stand up, sit up, walk around, make yourself a cup of joe or whatever you like. Maybe even spend a break of 10 minutes from your work that you've been multitasking. You will then come back refreshed and boost your work. What do you think of that? As with everything somebody does that is related to a project they're working on, they must review their progress. So reviewing our progress and crossing out completed assignments is a great way to stay motivated, especially if you have a long list. Think about it. Check, 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 check. Wow, you're on a roll. Check, check, check. Think how good it feels to start checking those boxes off the list. And if you're working on a larger process, a big project, you know what? There's a set timeline there too. And that'll help you determine where you're on track and where you're not on track, so you can meet your deadline. You see, if you're behind, it may be simple as this: to shift your priority to manage the expectation of whoever you're doing the job for. You see, you're in control of what you do. You must remember to practice. Multitasking becomes easier with repetition. If you want to expand your capabilities logically, you have to do multitasking things that are small, and then multitasking things that are medium, and then bite off the big ones. And if you think about it, integrating multitasking into an everyday routine is beautiful, because you're going to take skills you've learned for a project, for example, and apply them to your daily life. Think about how you'll be able to combine physical tasks with oral tasks, such as listening. Think about it. You will have decided, you will have made the decision to be kind to yourself, because now you realize there's a time and a place for multitasking. That's right. You know that even though it can be very effective and it can increase productivity levels, overworking yourself to multitask can lead to burnout. You've got to be careful to check in with yourself. You feel yourself getting overwhelmed? Reevaluate those tasks. Reduce that workload. Got to keep yourself healthy and your brain sharp, because it's all about you. It's all about understanding what works for you. Nobody multitasks the same way as another person, but we all do it. So the more practice you get, the more you're going to understand what works well for you. Maybe you need to listen to music while you're doing it. Maybe you need silence while you work. But you're going to find out. It is not a one-size-fits-all concept. You got to find out what circumstances you work best in. And then you'll be able to fine-tune all your processes and become an expert multitasker. You know what? It's an exciting topic, because a tremendous amount of people have a tremendous amount of stuff to do. And they get overwhelmed. They can't do it all, they say to themselves. Well, guess what? You can. You can. Got to remember, we live in a cyclical world. Just like the Ferris wheel, you come over, and what do you have as you cross the top? You have two things when you come over the top, always: hope and opportunity. If you can get your fingernails on the windowsill, you can get yourself in the window. Multitasking is no different. Here we go for our delicious diamond dab of the day. Looking for my carb cap, and then we're going to roll here. I might have to borrow a carb cap, something else, but here we go. With the wand, going for 500 degrees. Cheers, everybody, and thanks for joining me today. Looking for a carb cap. I'm going to use this one. Here we go. Now this is going to be cool. Watch, and ye shall see. Quite a hit. Wow. Hope you've all noticed that I didn't touch anything with my lips. This is the coolest thing. It is the Herbo. You can see the smoke pouring out of it. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a great day. This has been The Real Senior Stoner. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget, multitasking is very important to learn how to do it well. Cheers.